Hey everybody, Boris. Welcome to the crosses section for May 1 to May 5, 2017. And on the crosses side, there's a couple of very interesting stories I think that are developing, both intra-com dollar and the majors, and then intra-com dollar and the majors. Let me get to some of the ideas and just start right off. First of all, I think the most interesting idea actually is major versus major. The euro-pound trade, we'll take a look at the charts just right now, but it is filling the gap. Unlike the euro trade that is done at a runaway gap, this one is filling the gap, and that makes it quite interesting right now. Take a look at the chart. So 85 resist, 83 is the support right now. And we'll take a look and see where that could potentially go. Kiwi CAD, ironically enough, is a very strong down trade. Despite the fact the Canadian dollar has been very weak, on a relative basis, it's actually been relatively strong against the Kiwi, and it looks to be actually a continuation trade all the way down to 92. We're sort of mid-range between 95 and 92 with very strong downside drift in the pair. And lastly, the trade to 130 in the pound. If you want to express it through a different measure, could very well be a very good trade on the pound Kiwi trade all the way to the 190s. 185 is the support, and 190 is very much in target if cable makes this push towards 130 as we expect it will this week. Let's take a look at the charts here and just see how everything sets up. But first, let's take a look at the euro pound before we look at the pound Kiwi, because euro pound is so fascinating. We talked about the fact that euro had the runaway gap, but if you look at euro pound, we're almost filled the gap here. We had the 85 gap to the open, and I guess you could really pretty much say it's been sort of filled. Now, what's interesting is that once the gap gets filled, generally it never just simply touches here. It's very likely to kind of push to the downside. So in some ways, one of the more interesting trades here, again, a pro-pound trade away from the pure dollar trade, could very well be the euro pound all the way down towards the 83s. Technically, this is starting to look very, very favorable and very interesting. And the failure here, sort of like the failure off the highs on euro pound, suggests that there's more continuation here, and we could certainly fill all the way down to 83.50 and possibly all the way down to the support at 8300. And that's kind of one of those sort of surprising ideas that just popped up on the end of the week. Now, Kiwi CAD, again, this is really a race to the bottom, but there's an opportunity here. The trade here has really topped out at 95. Again, series of failed highs continuously. Failed high at 96, at 95.50, at 95. Now, returning back to the downside, the near-term support here is around 93, but the longer-term support here is 92. I like this trade to the downside. I certainly like this trade against the 95 resist. If you assume this failed high is going to hold, there is eventually going to be a move to the downside here as the Canadian dollar shows a modicum of strength against the Kiwi dollar. And then the last trade here is just a pure momentum trade that we've been watching in the pound. The pound has been a very strong momentum move. But look at this move. Yeah, it's hard to buy 4 straight up days. But on the other hand, it's one of those kind of stronger signals. And the reach towards 190 is very, very tempting here. So I like this trade just on a pure momentum basis. But of course, if it pulls back down to sort of 86.50, then the momentum is broken. In the meantime, it seems to be all systems go for Kiwi pound to the upside. So those are the cross trades that are shaping up this week. They're kind of very interesting in each one of their own little stories, and definitely very much worth exploring as the out of bounds, sort of less traveled, more interesting ideas for a very, very heavy data session week. Wish you guys the best luck, the best of trading. Boris, over and out.